Oh no. If you're a Yankees fan right now, like me, you are waiting on bated breath to find out the severity and the outcome of Gerrit Cole's MRI scan. It might genuinely seem like an exaggeration to say this, but honestly, the fate and the outcome of the entire season rests on this scan. We've got Aaron Judge in his prime, Gerrit Cole in his prime. We've got 1 year left of Anthony Rizzo, 1 year left of Gleyber Torres. We've just traded for Juan Soto. And now this, it's like the baseball gods never want Yankees fans to be happy ever again. If Cole is out injured, who knows how the rest of this season plays out. But if Cole is out injured for an extended period of time, does that mean the Yankees are now back in the hunt for a starting pitcher, whether that be via trade or delving back into free agency? There's so many things to question, so many things to talk about, so let's not waste any time and let's talk baseball. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you may be listening. This is Let's Talk Baseball. I'm your host, Tom Skulls, and oh, dearie me, dearie me. It's not ideal, is it? If you're watching this, you can see the hat that I'm wearing, but if you aren't watching this and listening to this, there is a New York Yankees cap placed upon my head, because I am a fan of the New York Yankees, and yet again, the New York Yankees can't just go an off-season and a spring training with nothing going wrong. Something had to happen. Unfortunately, it was arguably the worst thing that could have happened, and that is Gerrit Cole is having an MRI scan on an elbow issue that was causing him some discomfort. Yankees manager Aaron Boone told reporters on Tuesday it would be difficult to picture Gerrit making opening day as he deals with an unspecified injury to the elbow. He underwent an MRI on his elbow on Monday, and Boone told reporters that Cole will be having more tests on Tuesday. It's currently Wednesday, 13th of March. It is 12:52 p.m. British time, so there is a high chance that by the time this is uploaded, this is on the internet, on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple, that we might have an outcome for this situation, which is why I'm going to delve into this in as many ways as possible to make it as timeless as possible. And, you know, he's one of the most durable pitchers in the American League, in all of Major League Baseball, is Gerrit Cole. He's one of the best as well. And there are some arguments that you could have where this was going to happen. I was listening to the Bronx Pinstripes Show podcast earlier on, and they were talking about, should they have prepared better for this kind of situation? Maybe not necessarily Gerrit Cole going down with an injury, but, you expected maybe Carlos Rodon to not make it out of spring training without any kind of hiccups. Marcus Stroman is your third option, so should they have gone in for another starting pitcher anyway? I think that's a debate the fan base has been having the entire off-season about whether they should go for Blake Snell, bring Jordan Montgomery back, or, try to trade in for Dylan Cease from the Chicago White Sox without getting rid of a Spencer Jones or someone along those lines. And the fact of the matter, my opinion of the situation is, if you prepare for the worst, it's going to happen. If you prepare for Gerrit Cole to be out for the season, you're kind of waiting for some negativity to happen. If the Yankees decided to sign another starting pitcher, regardless of any injury situation, let's say, for argument's sake, they sign Blake Snell. Your rotation, when fully healthy, is Gerrit Cole, Blake Snell, Carlos Rodon, Marcus Stroman, and Nestor Cortes Jr. Now, when everybody's fit and firing, that is a fantastic rotation. But not to sound like Mr. Burns in the Homer at the Bat episode of The Simpsons, but if one pitcher goes down, if Gerrit Cole goes down, you've got the National League Cy Young in Blake Snell waiting. 2 Cy Youngs go down. Carlos Rodon is on he's meant to be on some redemption path, and it remains to be seen whether he does anything about that. But he has known to have back injuries. You are then 3 pitches down, and you can keep going and going and going. And if you plan for this kind of thing to happen, it's like, okay, at what point do you just write the whole team off injured? Do you know what I mean? You can prepare and prepare and prepare all you want, but sometimes these things just happen. And in the case of Gerrit Cole, it must be stressed, we are simply waiting to find out what is going on. We don't know anything that's happened. We don't know if he's healthy. We don't know if he's out for the season. We don't know whether he's going to require Tommy John surgery. I don't know. It's just, I think when you see things like this, especially with the Yankees' history of dealing with injuries and publicly dealing with injuries, there's a lot of mistrust from the fan base. There's a lot of fans that are looking at the situation going, something else is going on here. And I can't help but be in that mindset of, I'm going to find the tweet, because it's from Keith McPherson from WFAN. And he said, where was it? This is great to listen to. Really is great to listen to. Someone just scrolling through their phone. We all got trust issues with the New York Yankees. They lie first, then make up something later. You can't believe anything they say about injuries is consistent. Judge, Rizzo, Trevino, Nestor in 23, back at it again. Leading the league in injury list stints. Trying to play the media, start the season. I imagine Cashman telling some of the best doctors in the world, no, that can't be right, laughing emoji. Let's tell them Rizzo is in the best shape of his life, Judge is fine, Nestor can come back and pitch, it's just our catcher's wrist. No, we're doing ab MRIs, pray for Cole, and brace for impact. If that doesn't tell you about the trust levels amongst some of the Yankees fan base, nothing will. My light has just gone off, and it's terrible. It's out. So half this video, I'm going to be in yellow lighting, and for the rest of it, you can see my lovely red face. But if there was ever an analogy of the Yankees' potential season right there, you start the podcast, you start the episode in full swing, everything seems to be going right, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the light on top of the desk, atop of the camera, completely switches off. You try to move it back onto the different settings, nothing's happening, and then you just sat here hoping that it looks all right. That is essentially what the Yankees' season is resting upon, and that's what a lot of the fan base is assuming is going to happen. None of that was planned. That was completely impromptu. In a way, I'm glad it's happened now, because I can now roll out that line. But there is a lot of worried fans out there who are looking at the situation going, oh no, not again. Not this again. Not another issue. Last year they were doing relatively well until Judge goes down injured. You've got the situation with Rizzo's concussion, which, by all accounts, the team's medics are the ones that asked Rizzo to get the test done again the second time and then found he had a concussion. It just seems to be one injury after another to players that are really important, and there are none more important to this team than Gerrit Cole. Because, let's just call it for what it is. He's the best pitcher in the league. He's in his prime years. You cannot waste the prime years of this guy. We don't know how long left at the top he has. And that's not saying he's going to go on a downward spiral regardless of what happens in this injury. It's just simply saying that you can't bank on your ace being around forever. And you have to make do with what you get from him. I just think it's typical. I just think it's so typical. I think it's so it's so modern Yankees to be in this situation. And it's quite disheartening as well. It's quite disheartening because you go into the season and you kind of think, okay, quietly, the fans are looking at the situation and we're looking at the team and going, maybe there's something there. You've seen how Juan Soto's played, and you're going, yeah, this is a real player. He might. I was gonna put some money on him winning MVP for the American League, such as his fantastic performances in spring training. And I know that's nothing to go off of, but he looks at home. He looks like he's slotted into the team perfectly well. And coupling that up with the performances he's putting in Washington and in San Diego, it's only natural that he's going to continue his incredible career. Aaron Judge is the superstar of the league. Him or Shohei Ohtani, you can take your pick, and probably neither would be wrong. But it's just, you look at the situation and you just go, why? You had a really good big three there. You had the American League Cy Young. You had the home run king of the entire league, and the young superstar that everybody will want a piece of next summer. And it's like the baseball gods have taken a spanner out of the toolbox, thrown it into the works, and just gone, deal with that. There's a report on CBS Sports titled, Yankees make new offer in Dylan Cease trade talks. And that is according to Bob Nightingale. And basically, I think they've probably gone to the White Sox and said, name your price minus Spencer Jones, because that guy is going to be a superstar. And I don't know. I don't know what happens. It really is a situation that makes you go, oh, makes your skin crawl if you're a Yankees fan. And I think even if you're a baseball fan, you're looking at Gerrit Cole and going, I saw Jared Carabis describe him as appointment television when he's pitching. And there are very few pitchers like that anymore, where they're the old school kind of, you go out of your way to watch them perform. I can't think of many like that kicking about, and he is still one of them. Now, is the answer to this situation to go and get Blake Snell? I don't know. I really don't know. And it's, should they have signed him regardless of the situation? There were some people that say yes, there were some people that say no, but have their opinions changed on this particular incident, on this particular moment where you go, okay, now you need to go and sign Snell because you need that ace pitcher. You need that superstar pitcher. And it's like, it leaves you kind of not necessarily speechless, but it does make you look at the situation and just go, well, what do you do now? If they were reluctant to spend money on Snell before this situation, when he could have been, hardly anybody seems to be in on this guy. He's not going to be ready for opening day because of how long the negotiations of these deals have taken. You were apparently put an offer out there that was rejected. You can't now go in with a lower offer than that, because he will turn around and say to you, you need me. The reason you are coming back to me is because you need me. Your Cy Young winner is out injured. Let's say, hypothetically, he's out for the season. You're missing for this season. You're rehabbing for next season. You probably signed Blake Snell on a 2-year, 3-year, 4-year deal to cover what is going on with Gerrit Cole. That makes sense from a playing point of view. Financially, does it make sense? I don't know. Again, it goes back to that situation. If the Yankees wanted him that badly initially, they would have bought him and they would have signed him before this situation arose. Now you're probably going to end up spending more money on him because there is now suddenly a need for him. There is a need in that rotation for a new starting pitcher. There was one beforehand, but it wasn't as necessary. It wasn't as vital because you still had Gerrit Cole. You are then banking on Carlos Rodon to come back to full fitness and come back to the form that saw him sign with the Yankees. And Marcus Stroman is a good pitcher, but he's not the kind of guy that you are banking your hopes on. It's the same with Nestor Cortez. It's the same with Clark Schmidt. They're all very talented, but if you're going to bank your hopes on them guys being the ones to save you from this situation, you've got another thing coming. Do you trade for Dylan Cease? If the deal is right, 1,000%. Anything that isn't Jason Dominguez and Spencer Jones, you get that deal done. Because prospects come and go. Yankees pitching prospects come and go with ease. That's why they were comfortable getting rid of Michael King to the Padres for Juan Soto. That makes total sense. What about Jordan Montgomery? It doesn't seem to be the fit. And if I was Jordan Montgomery, I wouldn't want to go back to the team that essentially traded you away because you weren't playoff ready. You can go back there with a ring. One of the only players to come into that locker room with a ring. Maybe you want to go to Massachusetts and play for the Red Sox. As a double, sticking your fingers up at the Yankees for one, trading you away in a trade that now looks even worse as time goes on. And then you go play for their rival. That's another thing. The Jordan Montgomery trade, they got Harrison Bader out of it, and where's he? He got let go at the end of the trade deadline last season to the Cincinnati Reds, and he's now on the frickin' Mets. What kind of trade was that? And that's the kind of thing that even without the Cole situation, and this is what I have to stress, even without Gerrit Cole potentially missing the season, and potentially missing the first month of the season, if all hope is good, if everything goes the way it's the Yankees fans hope it will, even if he misses just the first month, Jordan Montgomery should never have been traded because it was completely pointless. Completely pointless. Do you go and sign Blake Snell? That is something I don't know. I don't know. Because if you sign Blake Snell, does that mean that you have a smaller chance of signing Juan Soto? Well, somebody might come around to that situation and that topic of conversation and go, well, if you don't sign Blake Snell and you're a poor team yet again, a middling 500 team, well, Juan Soto isn't going to want to stay anyway, so you might end up getting rid of him at the trade deadline. So why don't you just risk it all for maybe 1 year and you just go, you know what, forget it. We'll just go in for it, we'll do what we need to do, and we'll get out. Signing those three players makes them far more competitive with or without Gerrit Cole. The problem is, are the Yankees front office and the ownership going to do that? I don't think they are. I don't think they are going to make these moves because it's just not what they do. And any time we've seen massive spending in baseball in recent years, very, very rarely does it pay off. The Mets spent a fortune on pitching when they signed Verlander and Scherzer. Look at what's happened with them. Nothing went their way. Absolutely fine. If the Yankees do that again, there is a risk that happens. You are paying Rodon big money. You are paying Gerrit Cole big money. You would be paying Snell big money. You paying Aaron Judge big money. You are looking to pay Juan Soto big money. Gleyber Torres big money. Giancarlo Stanton's contract is still hanging over them like whatever. I can't think of the words for it because there's so much going on. They're not in a good position if they were to sign Blake Snell. But competitively, do you just risk it for the chance to maybe win a World Series? This is the questions they've got to be asking each other. These are the questions they've got to be finding out. I don't know. Just once on a normal season. I mean, if they go for an internal option, it is what it is. That feels like something they would do more. That feels like a Yankees option. Like Will Warren, Clayton Beeter, Lewis Gills looked alright in spring training, but this isn't the situation you throw him into. Oh, God, it's stressful. As a fan, it's stressful because you can't do anything about it, and we're sat here waiting around for any kind of news to figure out what the hell is going on. I think ultimately the move to make is Dylan Cease. I think ultimately the move to make this off-season as a Cole replacement, or as close to a Cole replacement as you can get without completely damaging your team, is trading for Dylan Cease. It's Blake Snell would be great, but financially it's just not going to happen, especially now that there is a need for him. The White Sox, they don't care. They'll trade for what they can get, and prospects come and go. If one of them turns out to be a superstar, you hold your hands up and go, well, it is what it is. That's the one. That's the one you go for. Dylan Cease is the guy to trade for, in my opinion. I think if you do anything else, I think if you try to spend more money, you're creating a bigger hole for yourself. And the Yankees don't want to be in a position where they go over the luxury tax and therefore pay more money on the situation. So Dylan Cease is the guy to do it. He's the guy to trade for. And I think if they are to make a move, then that's what's going to happen. And it also makes sense that Bob Nightingale mentioned it last night, kind of putting it out there, stoking the fire a little bit, letting everybody know they're still in for him. It's not completely out there. Just want it to end. I just want it to end, Robbie. By the time you're watching this or listening to this, you might know the outcome of the MRI. As of right now, it's 13:11, 10 minutes past 1 British time, and I don't know what's happening, and I hate the fact that I don't know what's happening. But the situation is, if it comes back that Gerrit Cole is fine, he's going to miss the first month while he rehabs himself, and then he's fine for the rest of the season, I'll take it. We can put up with that. Absolutely put up with that. If he is out for the season, panic stations. The sanity of New York sports fans will be on the ground. You've got Aaron Rodgers potentially becoming the vice president. Saquon Barkley has gone back on everything he has done for the Giants to sign for a divisional rival in the Eagles. Aaron Judge is feeling a bit of... He's in mid... He got something wrong going on there, and he's taken time out. I've got no worries about that. I just think the fact that came out at the same time as the Cole news set everybody off. You've got Judge maybe feeling a little bit sore earlier than expected. Gerrit Cole might be out for the season. Just you had that scare the other week where Jalen Brunson goes down for the Knicks, and everybody's going, that's it, that's the season done, it's over, I can't take any more of this. Thank God he's fine. But OG Anunoby's only just come back, and he was out injured for a while. Just once, I think New York fans would appreciate it if something wrong didn't happen to their team. You know, if you're a Jets fan, you've just signed one of the greatest quarterbacks that's ever lived. First game, 4 plays in, out for the season. Second season, might become the vice president of the United States. Just once they want a normal year in New York. Just once they want a normal year. The Giants, they're up a creek with a paddle. Saquon Barkley's he's not staying. He's off to Philadelphia. And now this. The Mets are the Mets. They're always in a world of pain. And the only people that will... the very people that will always admit to that are Mets fans. They are in pain all the time. Yankees fans, not all the time are they in pain. So this isn't usual for them. It's horrible. It's terrible trying to wait and find out the MRI scan like a doctor. I don't know Gerrit Cole. I've never met him. I feel like a family member waiting to find out exactly what's happened. It's terrible. It's horrible. I just want it over. I just want it done. One way or another, I want to find out what the outcome is. And whatever happens, trade for Dylan Cease. This has been Let's Talk Baseball. This has been a bit of a ranty episode. This has been a get off the chest episode where, you know, some pent-up thoughts have come out, some pent-up worries have come out, and, you know, you just go, boom, let it all out. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Keep an eye on all the social channels because there'll be bits and pieces coming out on them. Whatever song is playing out for the people listening, I haven't quite figured that out just yet. For the people that are watching, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a good day. And pray God Gerrit Cole's elbow is absolutely fine.